William Richard Bill Shorten is an Australian politician who has been leader of the Australian Labor Party and leader of the opposition since October 2013. He has represented Maribyrnong in the Australian House of Representatives since 2007, and served in a number of ministerial positions in the Rudd and Gillard governments, including Minister for Education and Minister for Workplace Relations. Prior to entering Parliament, he was the National Secretary of the Australian Workers' Union from 2001 to 2007. Early career: Shorten was born in Melbourne, where his father, William Robert Shorten from Tyneside, England was a waterside worker and union official. His mother, Anne Shorten, was a lawyer and university academic of Irish descent. He was educated at Xavier College and Monash University, where he graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in 1989 and Bachelor of Laws in 1992. He also gained a Master of Business Administration from Melbourne Business School at the University of Melbourne in 2001. Shorten became active in the Labor Party while still a student, working part-time for Federal Labor Minister Gareth Evans and State Labor Minister Neil Pope. He also worked for Bill Lander, Minister and later Leader of the government in the Victorian Legislative Council during the Kerner Labor government. After graduating, he worked for 18 months as a lawyer for Maurice Blackburn Cashman. Union leader: in 1994, Shorten began his union career as a trainee organiser under the ACTU's Organising Works programme at the AWU, before being elected Victorian State Secretary in 1998. Before taking this post, Shorten had decided to enter Victorian state politics, being selected unopposed as the Labour candidate for the state seat of Melton for the 1999 state election. However, he quickly gave this up in order to pursue his career with the union. His time as secretary was marked by a reform of the union structures. Shorten was elected as the AWU's National Secretary in 2001, and was re-elected in 2005. He resigned as Victorian State Secretary of the AWU in August 2007. Shorten was an active member of the Labour Party. He was a member of the party's national executive until 2011, as well as the Administrative Committee of the Victorian branch. He was also director of the Superannuation Trust of Australia, and the Victorian Funds Management Corporation. From December 2005 until May 2008 he was the Victorian State President of the Labour Party. He was also a member of the Australian Council of Trade Unions Executive. Until early 2006, he was a board member of getup.org.au. During his time as AWU National Secretary, Shorten was the interim chief executive of the Australian Netball Players Association, following an alliance between the AWU and ANPA in 2005. Shorten also served on the advisory board of the Australian Cricketers Association. Political career: the political correspondent of The Age, Misha Schubert, wrote, "The ascendancy of the articulate, clever and impressively connected challenger, routinely touted as a future Prime Minister, seems all but assured." She pointed out that, as well as his base in the right-wing unions, Shorten would be supported by some unions normally associated with the left, such as the Communications, Electrical and Plumbing Union. In 2005, Shorten announced that he would seek selection as the Labour candidate for the seat of Maribyrnong, which was already held by Labour MP and Shadow Minister Bob Sercombe. Justifying his challenge to a sitting Labour MP, Shorten said, "We haven't won a federal election since 1993. When your footy team loses 4 consecutive grand finals, you renew the team." On February 28, Sercombe announced that he was withdrawing his candidacy for re-selection, a few days before the vote of local members in which Shorten was expected to poll very strongly. As a result, Shorten was selected unopposed to contest the seat. During the Beaconsfield mine collapse, Shorten, as National Secretary of the AWU, played a prominent role as a negotiator and commentator on developments in the immediate aftermath and the ensuing rescue operations. The mine rescue operations drew mass national media coverage, and raised Shorten's political profile ahead of the 2007 election. At the election on November 24, 2007, Shorten was elected to the House of Representatives as the Labour member for Maribyrnong. It was speculated that with his high public profile and general popularity within the Labour Party, he might immediately be given a frontbench portfolio. However, when asked about the possibility, new Prime Minister Kevin Rudd said that he believed parliamentary experience was essential when designating frontbench portfolios. On November 29, Rudd announced that Shorten would become Parliamentary Secretary for Disabilities and Children's Services. As Parliamentary Secretary, Shorten pushed hard for the National Disability Insurance Scheme, something which was later to become a key policy of the Labour government. Shorten would later become one of the main factional leaders involved in the replacement of Kevin Rudd as Prime Minister and leader of the Labour Party with Julia Gillard in the 2010 leadership challenge. Following the 2010 federal election, there was speculation that Shorten might seek to oust Prime Minister Gillard from her position within the year. Former Labour Prime Minister Bob Hawke and former Labour opposition leader Kim Beazley had both previously endorsed Shorten as a potential future Labour leader. Shorten denied this speculation, and was promoted to the cabinet as Minister for Financial Services and Superannuation. In 2011, he was also given the position of Minister for Workplace Relations. Following a period of persistent leadership tensions, Shorten announced immediately before a June 2013 leadership ballot took place that he would back Rudd against Gillard, and would resign from the cabinet should she win. Rudd subsequently won the ballot and became Prime Minister for a second time, appointing Shorten as Minister for Education, with particular responsibility for implementing the Gonski school funding reforms. Shorten is considered a moderate member of the Labour Party. As with most Labour leaders before him, in recent times, Shorten supports an Australian republic. Leadership of the Labour Party. Following the defeat of the Labour government at the 2013 federal election, Kevin Rudd announced that he would stand down as leader of the Labour Party. Shorten subsequently announced his candidacy to be his successor, in a contest with Anthony Albanese that would be the first time party members would be eligible to vote. Shorten subsequently gained 63.9% of the party caucus vote and 40.8% of the rank-and-file members' vote, which when weighted equally gave Shorten a 52.02% victory over Albanese. His first speech acknowledged the role of women in his election success. He distanced himself from Tony Abbott's social conservatism, saying, "I reject the assumption that merit is more located in the brains of men than women," and highlighting the proportion of women in Labour's leadership, with Tanya Plibersky as deputy leader and Penny Wong as Senate opposition leader. On February 12, 2015, it was announced that an ALP tribunal had discovered that 20 votes were redirected to the home of councillor Hicham Zraika. Hicham Zraika was a staffer for Senator Sam Dastyari. Zraika was charged with branch stacking offences under party rules and falsifying the meeting records of his own branch and suspended for 6 months. Shorten had been consistently polling better than Abbott and Labour better than the Abbott coalition government from the July 2014 Australian federal budget until the September 2015 Liberal leadership ballot when Malcolm Turnbull succeeded Abbott as Prime Minister of Australia. Turnbull's honeymoon polling soared above Shorten, with the Turnbull coalition government taking the lead over Labour. Brendan Nelson holds the record for lowest Newspoll Better Prime Minister rating of 7%. 3 leaders including Shorten hold the combined second lowest rating of 14%: Simon Crean, Malcolm Turnbull and Shorten. The December 2015 Newspoll saw a continued 53-47 two-party vote to the government. However, Turnbull's personal ratings were significantly lessened, with personal approval down 8 to 52% and personal disapproval up 8 to 30%. Some media outlets opined Turnbull's honeymoon to be over. Personal life: in March 2000, Shorten married Debbie Beale, the daughter of businessman and former Liberal MP Julian Beale. They divorced in 2008. In 2009, Shorten married Chloe, who is the daughter of Michael Bryce and Quentin Bryce, who was the Governor-General of Australia at the time. Shorten and Chloe live with their 3 children, their daughter, and Chloe Shorten's children from a previous marriage. In May 2012, the Shortens issued a public appeal requesting the cessation of an unspecified smear campaign about their marriage. Shorten was quoted by The Australian saying personal lives and families should be off limits. Shorten has a twin brother, Robert. Despite their sharp political differences, Shorten was best man at the wedding of his close friend John Roscombe, Executive Director of the Anti-Labour Institute of Public Affairs. See also, Next Australian federal election. References. External links, Bill Shorten, the Euro-Labour for Maribyrnong, AWU, Bill Shorten, Parliament of Australia, Euro House of Representatives, a Euro, the Honourable Bill Shorten MP, Parliamentary Secretary for Disabilities and Children's Services. Search or browse Hansard for Bill Shorten at openaustralia.org.